Thanks for staying with us. So tomorrow, the Muslim faithful all over the world will begin their fasting. To enlighten us more on this, the importance of this season, especially during the pandemic, is the National Missioner, Chief Imam, the Ansar-Ud-Deen Society of Nigeria, Sheikh Abdul-Rahman Ahmad. Assalamu alaikum, sir. Oh, God, we lost that call. Sugar. Okay, you're going to try to get him back, right? Okay, we just lost that call. So I had planned this assalamu alaikum and just lost it. But either way, we're going to try to get him back. But let me quickly start. Since we have Nima here on set, they're going to try to discover the moon tomorrow. They're looking out for the moon tomorrow. And that means that fasting will officially start maybe like Saturday, right? And people are worried that the 5 pillars might be difficult to actually achieve them, especially the zakat and all that, because it's also give out during this period. So my first question to him was that, okay, the Sultan has said, everybody stay in your house to pray. But people are obviously flouting this rule in different parts of the country. And I'd like to hear his own thought, but I know your own views, but let's hear your own views first.
Even I, as a Muslim, would like to hear what Sheikh Abdul-Rahman Ahmad will say as regards guidelines for Muslims during this month, because Ramadan without the congregational Taraweeh prayers, I've never in my entire life seen it, but this is going to happen this year because of COVID again. And so we would like people of knowledge, because Islam is a religion of knowledge, talk to people, talk to the Muslim faithful about what they should do, rather than have the Egbele Afar, because as we speak, I was called out by my community for mentioning that they do the call to prayer on your view. And so they stopped the call to prayer, but they've not stopped the congregational regular prayers. I still see they sit around the mosque like it's normal business. But because the people that, guide them obviously do not have the knowledge of how to deal with separation during this period, it's going to be confusing for them. So that's why I would love that, authorities of Islam address the issues.
When we're told that we're back with the National Missioner, Chief Imam, the Ansar-Ud-Deen Society of Nigeria, Sheikh Abdul-Rahman
Ahmad. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you?
Very good, sir. Good to have you on the show. So, the fasted or Ramadan starts on Saturday or Friday, Saturday. And we heard the Sultan had said that all prayers must be done indoors, that there shouldn't be any gathering or congregation. I would like to hear your thoughts on this. As Nima was saying earlier, that this has never happened in the history of Ramadan. How can we successfully have a Ramadan without tafsir?
Taraweeh.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. First and foremost, let me correct the impression that while this has never happened, in point of fact, the Ramadan fasting started with Taraweeh being observed privately by individuals and groups at the family level. This was how, and it continued like that throughout the life of the Prophet. And during the time of the first Khalifa, Abu Bakr Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him, it was only during the time of Umar that Taraweeh became, a public prayer. That Taraweeh became a public prayer, and then it has been observed since then. Now, of course, you see, this whole thing became very easy for Muslims. I'm talking about knowledgeable Muslims to accept, because it is already inbuilt in the religion. The Prophet ﷺ was reported to have said, the safety and security of a man during the time of epidemic or pandemic of this nature is in staying in their houses. You have a provision in Islam that when it rains and it is flooding, or when there is mud, the muazzin, that is the caller to prayer, will when inviting people to prayers, will now say, come and pray in your houses instead of come to prayer.
Okay. Right.
I just wanted to ask, is it necessary you fast during this period? Because of the pandemic, a lot of people are hungry.
No, there is nothing. You know, it has been established, firmly established by medical experts, including the WHO, when they issue their guidelines for Ramadan, that there is nothing, you know, preventing otherwise healthy Muslims from fasting during a period like this. There is nothing that, you know, affects a Muslim and fasting in a period like this. So it's perfectly all right, unless there is an underlying illness that will prevent a Muslim from fasting. Nothing stops him or her from fasting.
Okay, very nice.
Okay, so, sir, before the Ramadan, when the lockdown was ordered, a lot of mosques, what we call the Ratibi mosque, continued to observe the regular 5 times prayers in congregation, some of them finding it difficult to understand. Can you please just establish the authority for why they must, even those 5 regular prayers, be observed in their homes, or that the mosque should be locked down within their areas?
Okay. You know, as far as Islam is concerned, you know, we operate by principles of law. And the first that comes to mind is when we're dealing with situations like this, the security and the safety of life takes precedence over all other things. It is a principle of Sharia that is called hifzun nafs, the preservation of life. When life is threatened, then all other things that are otherwise obligatory, you know, becomes something that is waived. Now, and the Prophet ﷺ has said in his many sayings, which is also a principle, he says, La dorara wa la dirara. Don't harm others, and don't put yourself in, you know, in a situation that you are going to be harmed. So for these 2 principles, you know, those who are observing, you know, daily congregational prayers are either ignorant or they are just, you know, outright, you know,
mischievous,
obstinate, or both.
Right.
I said mischievous.
Can I ask you this question, son? Because
You can go ahead.
I know a lot of Muslims, and I know that during this Ramadan, when they want to break the fast at 7 p.m., they always give food to a lot of people. They come into their houses and they eat. How will they go about that at this time? Because now it is
stay home.
Everybody stay home.
Right.
So that means you will be cooking just for yourself.
Yeah.
You will not be giving the
In addition to YK's question, because I know lots of families that do that sadaqah, they cook, and people come, and people depend on breaking their fast in those homes. So how would you suggest they do it during this lockdown?
You know, Islam has always been advocating preservation of honor of those who are receiving from you. It should be done in such a way that their honor, their human dignity should be preserved. And you should not put them into any inconvenience because you want to give them, you know, alms, or you want to make charity. So these are very unusual times, and it is calling for, you know, unusual solutions. So therefore, there are ways to this. Number 1, it could be monetized.
Right.
Which is a possibility. All right. Number 2, the food could be prepared, you know, and placed at a place, since it will be around the neighborhood. In most cases, people do not travel from afar in order to be part of this. The food should be cooked, and it should be put in a strategic place such that individuals will come and just take their own portion.
Right.
You know, you could tell me, well, Nigerians are not that organized. Well, we have options, we have choices to make, you know, in this regard.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, go ahead, Nima.
Just lastly, because the other day I was speaking with someone and he was saying because this is an unusual time, there are so many exceptions now that people can enjoy. One of the exceptions he was trying to talk about was whether we will not be doing the Zakat al-Fitr at the end of Ramadan because we cannot go and share the food out there. How exactly would you advise?
We could do the Zakat al-Fitr. You know, that's why I said this is a time that comes for creativity in the way we do things. Zakat al-Fitr, if the raw food could not be distributed, it could equally be monetized. And I guess that people need money right now.
Yes.
And in the same way that we serve the iftar, we could also serve, you know, package Zakat al-Fitr and serve it in similar manner. You know, we'll be even, you know, more effective in observing the purpose.
So would you advise Zakat al-Fitr is paid much earlier? You know, it has to be the last 3 days from the 27th. So
yes.
Would we now have to do it much earlier just so that we can reach more people because of the shortness of time?
You know, the philosophy is that those who are within your neighborhood takes precedence of those who are outside of your neighborhood. It is, for instance, not right for you to live in Victoria Island and take your Zakat al-Fitr all the way to Ajangbadi. You know, within the neighborhood of the Victoria Island, you still get people to get Zakat al-Fitr, even though VI is a highbrow area you hardly find, but you will certainly find. There is no way rich people can live in it.
I have to let you go, sir, but finally, would you encourage digital, we lost that call, because I wanted to see, because everybody's in digital learning right now, would we be able to have, is it those lectures, Ramadan lectures? Right, so obviously we need to provide data for our congregants, make them available, so that they, at that period, they can actually begin to learn. Unfortunately, that's all we can take on that. We lost that call with our guest, but we're going to go on a break now. We'll come back. We'll talk about other Thursday-like topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.